pumps blood through its shell to regulate body temperature. At approximately 13 centimeters in length, it is so small it can fit in your hand. Also known as the sand swimmer, because of how quickly and easily they can navigate underground. The only armadillo species whose dorsal shell is not completely attached to its body. At only 120 grams and approximately 13 centimeters in length, the pink fairy armadillo is the smallest armadillo species. It is also extremely elusive, spending most of its life beneath ground. It is also nocturnal, only emerging at night to gather food. Similar to other fossorial species, the pink fairy armadillo has claws on its front legs used for digging, a fusiform body shape, and minimal eye size. It also has a carapace, protective shell. Their shell of armor is light pink in color and contains 24 total bands. The shell forms a blunt end due to an extra vertical plate at the end of the shell. In total, the pink fairy armadillo has 28 teeth. These are all the same shape and have no enamel. Unlike other armadillo species, the pink fairy armadillo has no visible ears and an additional large plate on the back of their head. Uniquely, the fairy armadillo's shell is not primarily used for protection. Instead, the main function is for thermoregulation. The armadillo can flush the blood vessels in its shell, hence the pink color, and adjust its body temperature. If the armadillo exposes more of its blood to the cool air, it can lower its temperature. Inversely, draining the shell allows the animal to better retain heat. The pink fairy armadillo's shell is also not entirely attached to its body. A thin membrane runs along the creature's spinal column for attachment. Pink fairy armadillos can be found in the deserts and dry scrublands of central Argentina and other parts of South America. Found primarily in the neotropical regions of Mendoza, Buenos Aires, San Luis, La Pampa, and San Juan, the pink fairy armadillo's geographic range is limited to areas in the east because of heavy rainfall in other regions. Because they tunnel only 6 inches below the surface, even modest rainfall can result in flooded burrows. Due to climate change and adverse conditions, it is predicted that the current population of pink fairy armadillos is low. The animal has been found from 1,500 meters in elevation all the way down to sea level. The pink fairy armadillo is an omnivore. Their diet mainly consists of ants, but occasionally also snails, plant matter, and worms. The creature often builds complex tunnel systems within close proximity to ant hills, and primarily emerges to gather food during the nighttime. The most common predator for pink fairy armadillos are domestic dogs and cats. Because the armored shell on the animal's back offers minimal protection, the creature often retreats underground as a primary defense mechanism. Humans can be deadly to the pink fairy armadillo in a number of ways. The animal often falls prey to vehicles while attempting to cross a road. Also, if a pink fairy armadillo is taken in as a pet, they will likely become overwrought with stress and be unable to adapt to the artificial diet provided to them. It is estimated that more than 95% of pink fairy armadillos that fall into captivity die within 8 days of being captured. Lastly, because pink fairy armadillos tunnel so close to the surface, converting their natural habitat to farmland or grazing areas for cattle can quickly damage their tunnel systems. The pink fairy armadillo leads a solitary life except during mating. A female generally gives birth to a single young during a mating cycle. The baby armadillo's shell is soft at birth, will only become entirely hardened once it has grown into an adult. There have been no long-term studies conducted on the pink fairy armadillo lifespan. In captivity, The longest lifespan noted has been 4 years. Most of these animals die only a few days after being taken in. Younger pink fairy armadillos have the lowest chance of survival in captivity, while adult females have the best chances of survival.